Hey knitting friends, Shaina here. I recently put together a Laura cardigan for one of my students, and it wasn't until I was blocking the piece at the end that I noticed something. Tell me when you spot it. There's a missing cable. Big bummer, especially in such a beautiful sweater. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you what I do to fix this. Obviously, we're not ripping out the whole sweater, all the seams, and redoing the front to make the cable. I have a cool trick that uses duplicate stitch that will give the illusion of a completed cable here. So tune in. All right, let's fix this cable. Right here, we have a space that's missing a cable. These cables are left-leaning cables, which means 2 stitches lean over. The 2 stitches from the right lean over the stitches that were on the left and therefore make the cable look like it's slanting to the left. We are missing that twist right here in this zone. So what we're going to do is a duplicate stitch to replicate the look of that cable. We're going to start by locating kind of the center row between everything. So I'm going to say that that's this row here. And then I'm going to go the row below that and the row above it. So the duplicate stitch that I'm doing is this centered row. That's the row I'm replicating. So I'm actually going to start, we're going to call the centered row row 2. I'm going to start with row 1. And what I'm going to do is pick up a half of a stitch on the edge here. So stitches either look like little letter V's like this, or little letter A's like this where the 2 edges point up. So we've got a pointing down and pointing up, A or V. Here I'm grabbing on row 1 the edge half of a stitch, so one side of a letter A, and I'm bringing my needle through. Then I'm coming up to row 3 and I'm going to dive my needle into the 3rd stitch, 1, 2, 3, on row 3 under both legs of the V. Okay, then I'm coming back to row 1 and I'm going to grab the next full stitch, the little letter A, bring that through, and then I come back to row 3 and I grab the final stitch, the 4th stitch, letter V, and then my final stitch is going to be here from row 1, the 2nd half of that 2nd stitch. So right here immediately you can see the look of the cable, where we've got these strands that seem to be crossing over to the left, just like all the other cables. What we need to do next is adjust the tension and tighten up these stitches that we just created, these duplicate stitches, to help give the illusion of a knitted row, which that's pretty good. I have my yarn attached here at the center of the fabric, or at the center of this little cable column. I'm now going to push my needle through to the wrong side to keep that tail in the back. And I'm going to do the same with this first tail. I'm going to thread it back on my needle and I'm going to push it to the wrong side. Now let's take a peek at this and see what we think. Not bad. I think we can play with the tension a little bit more. Maybe make it look a little looser to match these cables here. But there we have it. That's pretty good. I think a regular person walking by, looking at this cable, or even knitters such as yourselves, would not be able to know that this was accidentally forgotten on the sweater. And then our final step would be to weave in these tails inconspicuously on the back. Happy fixing!